Hi, this is Theo from ParkerBlocks.com. Today I'm going to talk about coloring within the lines of your drawings versus letting the color flow out of the boundary of the lines. I'm going to show you some of my sketches and my style versus the style of other artists in today's video. Here I have with me some of my sketchbooks and other art books that I have bought over the years. I have separated them out into two groups. On the right side are going to be sketches that feature the coloring style where the color go out of the boundary of the lines, and on the left side the sketches will feature a style that is neater. The colors, they stay within the lines. So let's take a look at some of my sketches first. When I am coloring, I am not really particular about keeping the colors within the lines. So for example, here I can see some colors, they go outside, here as well, and here as well. And for this sketch, I can see some color bleed out into this area here, they go outside. So I'm not really that careful. That's watercolor. And even for this sketch here, which looks a bit neater, even so, some of the colors, they actually go out of the lines. I used markers for this, and even with markers I am not really concerned about keeping the colors within the lines. So there are some overlapping of colors here and there. So this is my usual style that I have been using for many years. Here's another sketchbook. This was drawn in Bali, so you see here my lines are actually not closed. So when the lines are not closed up, it's almost impossible to keep the colors within the boundary because there is no boundary to speak of. And for trees like this, I usually color in a very quick manner, so I don't really pay attention to coloring within the boundary because it would take a lot of time and concentration to be able to color within such small shapes like this. So I think time is better spent coloring quickly and creating more sketches. If you color quickly, the sketch will appear to be looser. And for this particular sketch, I was a bit more careful. I tried to keep the colors within the boundary to give it a neater look. So the overall look of this sketch is cleaner and it has a more illustrative look, although here again I painted this part very quickly. Here's another sketch from Bali. Again, you can see the trees here. The colors, I just used the brush and apply it with one stroke, 2, 3, 4. And here I just applied a yellow wash over the area. I'm not too concerned about coloring the individual leaves. As long as you keep the colors close to the lines, you will get a neater look. But if you start to color more wildly, more expressively, then you will get a more sketchy, a more loose looking style. So let's take a look at the sketches of other artists. This book is Archisketcher. This is a sketch by Nina Johannson from Sweden. She has a very neat style, so she tries to keep the colors within the line boundaries, and when I look at a sketch like this, I know that she is a very careful person. I actually have a book by her. This is Drawing Around Sagrada Familia, so let's take a look at this. So even though she is neat, sometimes she does color out of the boundary. So in this particular sketch, she colored out of the boundary for the leaves here and here as well. And for this construction crane, you can see some of the colors, they come out of the boundary, and also there are some splatter marks, which I think is quite nice. Now for this particular sketch, this is much cleaner because I can see that she tries to color within all these lines, but there are some overlap as well, and also some splatter spots. This is also a very neat sketch. So if you color within the lines, if you keep within the lines, it's going to give you a very neat look, a very illustrative look. a very clean style. This is Barry Herniman's traveling sketchbook. His style is quite loose. Again, he uses pen and ink, but he doesn't keep within the lines when he's coloring. When the need arises, you can see that he can be quite careful, like keeping the colors within this boundary for this particular book just to keep it in sharp contrast. But for foliage like this, where you cannot actually see the individual petals or blades of grass, they are colored very loosely. And same thing for the branches here and also for the background. If there is no line art like pen and ink or pencil beneath the colors, then the look is going to be more painterly. Different people prefer different styles, so there really isn't any right or wrong style, good or bad style. If I want to, I can draw very neatly as well. I just make sure that I close up all my lines, and when I'm coloring, I color very slowly to make sure all the colors are within the boundaries. But that is going to take me a lot more effort and time. And usually when I am sketching outdoors, here in Singapore, the weather is very hot, so I have to draw very quickly. So I adopt a faster approach, a looser approach. Now, for these sketches here, I think the line work is something I would consider to be neat, but for the coloring style, I actually just briefly just color them in a very quick manner. I colored all this very casually. Here I use the brush stroke, not paying attention to the boundary, and let the colors come out. Same thing here. So all these sketches, they look very casual. They look as if they can appear in a children's book. Enough of the quick and loose style. Let's take a look at some artists who have a very neat style. This book is Nature Anatomy by Julian Ruffman. All these illustrations are actually drawn with computer. So if you were to color within the boundaries, you're going to get a very neat look, even though the art can still look quite sketchy, but it is definitely much cleaner, much neater to have all the colors within the boundaries. This is a style that is quite suitable for illustration books like this. This is Rooftops of Paris by Fabrice Moreau. He is a very neat artist, a very meticulous painter. So his line work is very clean, very straight. His watercolor art is amazing. And his style is very, I would say, classic, very timeless. And he likes to color within the boundaries, so he's very neat. So a sketch like this, I'm not sure how big this particular sketch is. If you take a look at this, I mean, all these boundaries here, he managed to color them so almost clinically. It's so neat. There are no stray strokes and no wild splotches of colors. You can see how the colors they keep within the boundaries. Here as well. The subject matter here is architecture, and Fabrice Moreau, he is an architect, so he can draw really fantastic perspective. It's very neat, and his coloring style is also very neat. Now let's take a look at the other book that I showed you earlier, Archisketcher. So this book, it features architectural drawing as well, but not all the styles are as neat as this. So this sketch here is by Tia. Tia has a very expressive and loose styles. The lines are not straight. The colors, they are a bit wild, a bit loose, but the colors, they go where they need to go. And the overall look is very nice, very expressive, very loose. And compare that with Rooftops of Paris, you can see two very distinctive and different styles. This is very neat and this is very loose. Which one do I prefer? I like both of them and they look great. Sometimes if you color within the lines, they can give you a rather cartoony look. So this book is by Stephen Rady. This is Then, That Was Now. This is a book that was launched on his Kickstarter campaign. He has a very cartoony-like drawing style. He's also a very meticulous artist. So you can see all the colorings. There are no overlaps at all. Here as well. A very clean and neat style. Even for his comics, the style is very clean too. This is a very impressive sketchbook by Stephen Rady. He took a few years to compile this book. By the way, all the book reviews for all the books that you have seen, they are in the video description below. So if you want to check them out in more detail, the links are there. And the last book that I want to feature today is by Ruffman. This is Barcelona Original. Ruffman has a very neat style as well, but sometimes he colors out of the lines. So for this sketch here, it's very neat. And he likes to close up all his lines. So some of these drawings, they look like they can appear in coloring books. So you can see this is very neat and he colors within the boundaries. That's all for today's video. I had great fun showing you all the different coloring styles of different artists. Let me know in the comment section which style you prefer and which style you actually use and why you prefer that style. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye!